Good morning. My name is Liz Bracken-Thompson, and on behalf of Simone Development, I'd like to welcome you all to the official groundbreaking of the Boyce Thompson Center. And yes, an innovative plan that will transform this historic site behind me into 85,000 square feet of mixed-use offices, medical space, retail stores, and restaurants. One of the most exciting aspects of the plan is that instead of tearing this building down, this historic building, Simone Development will be restoring much of it to its original grandeur. The visionary man behind this project is our first speaker this morning. Here to tell you more about this exciting new project and some of the building's fascinating history, please welcome the President and CEO of Simone Development Companies, Mr. Joe Simone.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you, everybody. Good morning, Generation Y. Right? Isn't that it? Yonkers. Generation Yonkers. Generation Y. On behalf of my partners, Joe Deglamini Sr. is here and Joe Deglamini Jr. On behalf of Simone Development and all the people that are here, too many to mention here today, and Guy Liebler, who's been leading the charge here, and Joe Kelleher. I want to welcome you to the groundbreaking for Boyce Thompson Center. Our new development will feature state-of-the-art office, medical space, fabulous retail stores, and 2 new restaurants. I want to welcome Mayor Michael Spano, Deputy County Executive Kevin Plunkett, City Council President Liam McLaughlin, Majority Leader John Larkin, and Minority Leader Michael Sabatino. I also noticed Senator Nick Spano here, and if I missed anybody, please forgive me. Simone Development is very excited to undertake this very unique redevelopment here in Yonkers. There's a very long history at this property since opening for research on September 24th, 1924. It has been written that William Boyce Thompson was a rare combination of hard-headed realist and dreamer. He visited Russia in 1917 and saw the suffering of the people and the inability of the government to feed the hungry. In 1920, he established an institute for plant research which would operate from this building that's right behind me. The study of plants, he hoped, would result in practical, substantial contributions to human welfare. He recognized that the growing population of the United States would need a larger food supply. Thompson endowed the Institute with $10 million, which was a fortune back in 1920. That's a huge amount of money. We're here today to bring new life to the Boyce Thompson Institute, which will now, from now on, be known as the Boyce Thompson Center. In less than 2 years, we will return here to open a neighborhood center transforming this historic building. I would like to share with you a very similar project that we just completed at the Hutchinson Metro Center. We acquired a 200,000 square foot abandoned food processing facility from Old London Foods, and we converted it into a 400,000 square foot mixed use building featuring medical and business offices, retail stores, including Applebee's, Dunkin' Donuts, an LA Fitness Center, and a 125-room Marriott hotel which, by the way, is the first Marriott hotel ever in the borough of the Bronx. So we are truly excited to be the redeveloper of this building and having the Boyce Thompson Center become a contributor to the community and the city of Yonkers. I want to thank you, Mayor Spano, and the City Council for designating Simone Development as the redeveloper of this very important property. We have enjoyed working with the Nepera Park Gray Oaks Neighborhood Association and look forward to continuing the dialogue to ensure that we deliver a high-quality product to that community. I'd like to thank the very professional staff working for the City of Yonkers who partnered with our team of consultants every step of the way. I need to share with you how quickly the Spano administration navigated this building through the approval process. On April 4th, 2014, we responded to the RFP. We were selected by the City of Yonkers in the early summer of 2014. We signed a memorandum of understanding in the fall of 2014, and here we are today celebrating the groundbreaking. Now, for those of you that have ever done this before, it's a miracle, it's miraculous, it's unbelievable. And this truly shows aggressive economic development by this administration. So I have to clap for you. I want to say thank you to the Commissioner of Planning, Wilson Kimball, Deputy Commissioner of Planning, Lou Albano, Director of the Planning Bureau, Lee Ellman, Corporation Counsel, Michael Curdy, Commissioner of Department of Housing and Buildings, William Schneider, Commissioner of Public Works, Paul Summerfield. I really, really thank you all. Great thanks to our team led by architect Ron Hoyna, who has worked with VHB Land Use Engineers, Thornton Tomasetti Structural Engineers, and BD Engineering MEP Engineers. And of course, our legal team with Mark Weingarten and Janet Gieris and the whole team. I thank you very much. I'm very proud now to announce something that just occurred. We have signed our first lease here at Boyce Thompson. We just signed a lease with St. John's Hospital, taking medical space. Ron Cordy is here today. It's going to be a medical office building on the campus here. So we're very thankful and very proud. And by the way, I must tell you, Ron Cordy was the inspiration for our company to do this project. We were visiting Ron, talking about medical space. He pointed across the way and he said, something has to be done with that building. It's been way too long. Something has to happen. And that's where it all started. So Ron, I don't know where you are, but thank you, Ron. And that's it. I want to thank you all for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you in 20 months at the grand opening. Thank you.
Such exciting news. Thank you, Joe. You heard some of the dignitaries that Joe mentioned in his speech, like Wilson Kimball, but I also want to recognize some other dignitaries with us today. Deputy Mayor Sue Geary, Bill Mooney, Director of the Westchester County Office of Economic Development. I believe Smyrna Brandon, representing New York State Senator Andrea Stewart Cousins, is with us. Tommy Myers, where are you? DPW. Welcome, Tommy. From the Westchester County Association, we have Bill Mooney, Chairman, and Marissa Brett, President. Welcome. I believe Ken Jenkins, our Westchester County legislator and CEO of the Yonkers IDA, is with us today. Welcome, Ken. Robert Voorhees from Shelley Mayer's office is with us. Welcome. Senator Nick Spano is with us. Hi, Nick. And of course, Ron Cordy, president of St. John's Riverside Hospital. Welcome, everyone. You just heard from a man who is transforming the building behind me. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce a man who is transforming a city. Through his leadership, Yonkers has become a mecca for millennials and businesses. In fact, Gen Y is turning Yonkers into the new Brooklyn. Generation Yonkers, as Joe mentioned, is not just a slogan, it is a reality. And in fact, for those of you who have missed it, just last week, LowHUD.com took a reader's poll from throughout the area for the hippest city in the Hudson Valley, and Yonkers was the clear winner. Let's give them a round of applause. So now it is my true honor to introduce the man who is driving the Generation Yonkers train into the future. Please welcome the dynamic mayor of the city of Yonkers, Mayor Mike Spano.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I just want to stand here and just soak this all in. This is quite an incredible day for us. A lot of years, a lot of work, a lot of effort by a lot of different people went into making today's a reality. I just want to start off by thanking my good friend Joe Simone and your entire team. Can we give them another round of applause? For 40 years, this once beautiful building became an eyesore to many, to residents and visitors alike. And I remember when I first got elected and we drove around the city, this seemed like the one spot that you would look at and you'd go, doesn't make sense. There's all this development going on in and around this particular spot. Why not this spot? What is happening? And, it became symbolic of some of the stalled development that we had happening here in our city. But today, we put those days behind us and we focus on the flourishing economic development taking place all around us, from the 87 corridor to the waterfront, right here to this executive park. Developers are acknowledging the momentum that we've created, that Yonkers is on the move. And while some development is new construction to Yonkers, there is other development like here today that preserve the history and the authenticity that makes Yonkers so unique. There's a book I keep on my desk, and it reminds me all the time, because it shows me pictures of the mansions, the old mansions that are no longer here. Some are left, most are gone. It shows me pictures of some of the old splendid churches that were all across our city's shoreline. We needed to stop tearing down our history. We needed to find a way to do an adaptive reuse, and that's what this does today. So just Monday, we had the pleasure of being part of a groundbreaking, or I should say a sky-breaking, as Christopher Johnson put it, of the 100 new micro-units apartments that are going to be happening on the downtown waterfront, which we took the oldest elevator building and repurposed that 100-year-old structure into 100 different apartments, new apartments for the millennials. And yes, we have targeted the millennials, and they're coming, and we like that. We're doing the same thing here at Boyce Thompson. Boyce Thompson is a case study in adaptive reuse, demonstrating that with the right developer, we can preserve an old building and make it viable in this new economy. Simone is responsible, as you know, for some of New York City's biggest developments. So we are extremely pleased that Joe Simone, his team, are bringing their talents and their investment dollars here to Yonkers. And we couldn't be more happy to have his team join our Yonkers family. A special thanks to the Yonkers Planning and Development team and obviously the Yonkers IDA. When I came into office, this was a top priority of ours, and I'm glad to see that it's now becoming a reality. And of course, the economic development wouldn't be possible without the partnership that I have with the City Council. The City Council, starting with our Council President, Leah McLaughlin, the councilman from the area, John Larkin. I know that Mike Breen is here and Mike Sabatino are here as well. I'll tell you a quick story about dealing with Councilman John Larkin. You don't go out ahead of him, all right? That's a mistake. Some people have tried that, and that's not good. And you go to John, and you go to Councilman Larkin, you say, I have an idea, this is what it is. And he will very quickly say, well, we need to go see the homeowner groups first. And we need to kind of get an idea of what everyone thinks about it. And it's been that collaboration that we have enjoyed, both with me and the councilman, and with the councilman, and obviously with Nepera Park and Gray Oaks, and some of the associations around here, that has truly made this model work for us here in Yonkers. There's no reason to jam people. People like development. People like their community to move up. People want people to come live and work and play in our city. But they want to be involved. And the model that John Larkin has helped us put in place has made that possible. So I want to say thank you to the majority leader of Yonkers City Council, John Larkin. I look forward to visiting the shops and the restaurants here very soon, but more importantly, I look forward to the continued sense of pride and renewal that we all feel as residents of this city. As we breathe new life into Boyce Thompson, let's just take a deep breath and say congratulations to everyone involved. It really is a great accomplishment, and thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you so much, Mayor. I did want to recognize City Councilman Mike Breen right here. Thanks for joining us. And also from Elliot Engel's office, Cynthia Miller. Thank you for being here. And also Kevin Kikase from the Yonkers Chamber of Commerce. Kevin, where are you? Welcome. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce a man who's been the biggest cheerleader for economic development in Westchester County. He's been to all corners of Westchester and probably has cut more ribbons and attended more groundbreakings than anyone in the county. Please welcome Deputy County Executive Kevin Plunkett.
Thank you, Liz, very much. It's my great honor to be here this morning on behalf of our County Executive, Rob Astorino, to celebrate the repurposing of the Boyce Thompson Center. But I also stand here on behalf of every resident of Westchester County, the businesses, because what's good for Yonkers is good for Westchester County. And to be part of this repurposing of this building, which is an initiative that our Economic Development Office has undertaken throughout Westchester, on the Platinum Mile in particular, with our business associations as partners, is very exciting. I do note, Joe, two things. One is that I don't see any golf course on the new plan. And secondly, there could not have been any attorneys involved in that process that went so quickly for you. So, spoken as an attorney. But the success of the commitment that Joe Simone and Simone Development has made here in Yonkers is going to be so critical for Westchester County. The county is in an RFP process within the next month on a building right across the street, the Lenoir building, which the county owns. So we hope to replicate the model that is being used here today at the Boyce Thompson Center, because we need to rejuvenate and to have our buildings be used in a way that the next generation, whether it be Yonkers generation or Westchester generation, can use. So on behalf of Westchester County, on behalf of our county executive, Joe, I want to thank Simone Development for coming to Westchester once again. I had the privilege of being with Joe a couple weeks ago on the east side of our county, where they completed a building with John Ferrari for WestMed, and here they are on the west side of our county doing the same thing. So we thank you for your commitment. The county will be there to try to help as we can. I want to congratulate the mayor, his team, everyone whose name's been mentioned, because this is the start of something good, not only in Yonkers, but in Westchester. So congratulations and thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you, Kevin. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce a man who was born and raised in Yonkers and who's been an outspoken leader, community organizer, and volunteer for many, many years. We're actually in his district today, and we're so pleased to welcome the majority leader of the Yonkers City Council, Mr. John Larkin.
Thank you. Good morning. What a wonderful day this is. I woke up this morning and not only is the weather great, but this is an exciting project that we see here before us this morning. You know, I'm going to go back a number of years when I was small. I don't want to tell you how many years that was, but when I grew up in this area, Consumer Reports wasn't here. Boyce Thompson was, and they did their agricultural research here. Many of the areas of land you see here and down below, they did all their agricultural research. You know, they had lettuce and cabbages that were the size of myself. They injected them with certain things that I don't know whether we'd even want to eat that stuff today, but that's why they did their experimentations with that. When they left, this building became empty and it just sat here for many, many years. People in the neighborhood, you know, would drive by and just look at it and say, you saw the development going on all around and you just thought, why can't we do something with this? And I'll fast forward to actually having met Joe Simone and the Simone development team. Joe, I can tell you, you're one of a kind. You're a man of your word. You reach out to the community, which, as the mayor said, is the most important thing to me. I come from the community. I was the president of Napier Park Gray Oaks for 20 years before making that leap into politics. And it's always that I put that hat on. And if you can get your community on board and get their issues and concerns addressed, then it's a win for everybody. And in this instance, it is a win. Most of the issues were all addressed, and we're welcoming you with open arms. And I just want to say it's been a pleasure to work with you. It's a pleasure to have known you and your team. And I do want to give a shout out to the mayor, because he has always put that same hat on, because he does know, as I say, that's the first thing I say, we need to go to the community. We need to have the community's issues addressed well before we even start the process, so that you know what's involved and they're comfortable. And so this is it's a great communication between all groups, and I'm so excited and delighted to be here to wish you well and to wish our city well in the future years. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Our next speaker represents the 3rd District of Yonkers and has been a member of the City Council since 2011. Please join me in welcoming the Minority Leader of Yonkers City Council, Mr. Michael Sabatino.
Thank you, Liz. You know, I used to work at Elizabeth Seton College back in the 70s, right across the street. So I used to drive by this every day. And that was before I moved into Yonkers. And they were still functioning here. And as the years went by, when I moved here in 1982, I lived at the Greystone, which is right down the river here. And obviously I had to drive by here. And as the years went by and I saw the building deteriorate, and you know, it was kind of upsetting to see this beautiful structure, you know, go into such disrepair. And then when Joe and his team came to us, and obviously, you know, you really don't know what and how the structure of the building, how sound it is. And when Joe told us that the building was so sound, I think it's a tribute to those builders in those days that knew how to build things that last. To think about the fact that this has been exposed to the weather over so many years, and the building is still sound and it's going to be able to be reused, is a great thing. So one of the other things that's kind of a little joke inside about this, you know, I'm a cat lover, And there was a colony of feral cats here in the building. And that was one of my criteria, to make sure that those cats were checked and relocated. And I wasn't so much concerned about the raccoons, but the cats were very important to me, and I want to thank Joe and his team for taking care of that. And the other thing is, too, as John mentioned, you know, working with the neighborhood. Many of you may not realize it, but the back side of this building on that side is my district. And across the street where the hospital is my district. So John and I intermingle a lot of our neighborhoods here. And I'm also involved with the Napier Park Association because I have some constituents that are members there. And it's truly a pleasure to work with a neighborhood association that evaluates everything. Not to an extreme, but they stand up for what their neighborhood wants. And it's been a pleasure to work with them to come to a compromise. Because, you know, everything is a compromise. Not everybody can get everything they want. But I want to compliment the Napier Park Association. I know Gail O'Rourke is here, and I just want to pass that along. So I'm very excited about this. I'm looking forward to the opening in 20 months. And I think this is a great thing for Yonkers. And I can finally say to people, when people ask me, what is going on with that building on the corner? Is anything going to be done with it? And now we can say yes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Michael. And now our last speaker of the day. It is my honor to introduce a man whose name is synonymous with the great city of Yonkers, and who has been a strong advocate and a supporter of the Yonkers Renaissance. Please welcome the president of the Yonkers City Council, Mr. Liam McLaughlin.
Thank you all, and it is so great to be here this morning. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful project we have here before us. Having been on the council for quite some time, we've seen many different developers come forward with proposals for this site. And the neighborhood for a very long time, not just the neighborhood, the city at large would ask us, even people who weren't familiar with the building, what it was called, would say, what's going on with that building up at the top of Executive Boulevard? And we'd have different proposals, different developers that came through, and nothing happened, nothing took place. But we are fortunate to have the right developers at the right time here in the city of Yonkers. Joe and Guy came to us with a great proposal, and not only a great proposal, but with the background, with the reputation of getting the job done. And that was so important to all of us, the elected officials, because it's one thing to have a proposal, it's a very another thing to get the job done. So very shortly after this was voted on, I think they had, you know, trucks at the ready, shovels in the back of their trucks, because no sooner was this voted on than we saw work being done. So today we have our ceremonial groundbreaking, but for us, it's been so rewarding to see that the work started right away. And the neighborhood has noticed, the people of the city of Yonkers have noticed. We know this is going to be a great project, and we're looking forward to the ribbon cutting. So thank you for what is already beginning to be a job well done.
Thank you so much, Liam. Thank you. Well, that concludes the formal part of our program today, and now I'd like to invite all our speakers to please grab a shovel and join us for the official groundbreaking, and we'll see you all at the ribbon cutting.